guys, it's Jessica. Welcome back to my channel. So today, it's Monday, March 9th, 2020. Spring break started a little early this year because of the coronavirus right here in Seattle. So we do not have classes right now, and it's technically dead week, so week before finals. But we don't have in-person classes. The campus is so dead, literally everyone left. But I'm still here because I have boxing practice. So if you're wondering why no one is walking around campus, it's because everyone has hop ship and left. I've been super busy this quarter, and that's why I haven't been posting that often, but I thought today's a nice day out, it's sunny, might as well do like a campus tour. I applied to be a campus tour guide and did not get it, so you guys can let me know if you think I'm qualified. I have 3 YouTube videos on it now after this one, so I have to clean up my room first, and then we will get started. Okay, right now we are walking from my residence hall in West Campus and heading towards Red Square. To the left of me we have the Visitor Center and by George Cafe, which is in the basement of Odegaard Library. To the right was the Meany Hall of Performing Arts. Right now we are currently located in Red Square, so they have a bunch of food trucks. They have hot dogs, Sunrise Griddle, and Moto Surf. And there is Kane Hall right there, and if you have a midterm there, I'm so sorry, but you're probably going to fail it, because that's where all the physics ones are. I will comment more on that later, but right now we have to continue on with our tour. Currently we are entering Suzzallo Library, and this was honestly one of the reasons why I picked to go to UW in the first place. I told myself if I didn't like the library, I wasn't going to that school, so UW, you did a good job. Currently, right now, we are entering the Suzzallo Library Starbucks, which is a pretty popular study spot. The natural lighting is super nice here, and it's pretty spacious, but it does get busy throughout the day, especially around 12 o'clock. So in my previous campus tour videos, I listed pros and cons about the school based on my initial reaction to it, but I do go to UW, so if you guys have any more detailed questions you'd like to ask, I'm sure I'd be happy to answer them. And I guess right now we'll get started with the pros about the University of Washington. So one thing I really value about the University of Washington is its use of public transportation. You would think that your classes are super far away just because of how big the school is, but if you make use of the bus system and find a pretty good route you can use to get to class, it's really, really helpful. Another pro about the University of Washington that I find to be the most valuable is the amount of academic resources the school provides. There's the Math Study Center, which is located in the Communications Building, and that's where tutors can help you with your math homework or studying for midterms. There's the Physics Study Center, which is located in the basement of the Physics Astronomy Auditorium, and that is where you will meet your physics TAs, and they can help you with any physics assignments you may have. And the most valuable academic resource to me personally is CLUE, which is located at Mary Gates Hall. This academic service runs from Sunday through Thursday from 7 to 11 p.m. And honestly, the tutors here are super amazing. Like, they are not judgmental at all, especially the physics ones. Shout out to the physics tutors. Me and my friends like them so much that we bake them cookies at the end of the quarter. They are so amazing, and you will get along with them so well. They totally understand your struggles because physics is so hard to understand all the time. So, yeah, they're super helpful, and I highly recommend going there. Okay, quick pause to show you guys the Suzzallo Library Reading Room. This is also known as the Harry Potter Room, and more specifically known as the reason why I chose to go to UW. Honestly, just looks super flippin' cool. And if you ever want to be productive and don't feel like you'd be productive in your dorm room or in Odegaard, like Odegaard's the more social one, I recommend going to Suzzallo, especially this spot right here, because it's super quiet all the time. And you can hear so many things. You can hear someone drop their pencil. If someone bumps their hydro flask on the desk, like, it's so evident. So yeah, if you really, really need to focus, I recommend going there to study. Right here, I am standing on the steps of Suzzallo Library, and this is the overview of Red Square. Also, Red Square is the location of the RSO Fair every year, and I highly recommend you go to this, especially if you are a freshman. I went during, I think this was like my second week of school, or maybe it was the first week, but I met so many amazing people that are still my friends to this day. I joined 3 RSOs. The ones that I'm in are FASA UW, which is the Filipino club, and I'm in League of Astronomers, which is astronomy club, and the third one, the boxing team, and honestly, it's the best time of my life. I can go on and on about how much I love it, but yeah, really go to the RSO fair. It will change your experience at UW. Right now, we are currently entering the Allen Library, and this goes into my next point, which is that UW has so many libraries. The more popular ones are Odegaard and Suzzallo, but there's also the Foster School of Business Library located in Packer. On top of the fact that there are so many libraries at UW, Odegaard is thoroughly equipped with a lot of computers, and also it's open 24 hours. Right now, we are walking towards the hub, but on the way there is the location where they have Fall Fling every year. If you don't know what that is, it's a concert they throw as a part of Dog Days. And Dog Days is the events that they host for the incoming freshmen just to kind of get involved with the school and meet new people. I highly, highly, highly recommend you go to this. Okay, so this building right here is the hub, which is the Husky Union building, and this is basically the center of all student activities. They have the hub games, which I forgot to show in this video, but they have a bowling alley down there, and it's super cool. Another thing that's cool about our school is that we're super environmentally friendly. One thing that I like is that we make really good use of the compost system, so yeah, if you like the environment, this school is the place to be. Another pro about the University of Washington is its sports teams. Our sports teams are D1 and they haven't been doing too good recently, but they're still fun to watch the games, like football games, basketball games, women's volleyball games are super fun. And also, if you want to play a sport at UW, you don't necessarily have to be like a D1 recruit. For example, like I'm on the boxing team and I had to do just a tryout process. Another pro about the University of Washington, oh my gosh, I just looked up at this video and I realized no one is at the hub right now. And usually it's super packed here, but it's crazy because with this whole virus, no one is here. But anyway, another pro about the University of Washington is the first year interest groups, which is called a FIG. It's a class that kind of talks about the university and getting to know more about the school and how you can get involved. And I really, really recommend it. I actually am a FIG leader for next year. So if you're an incoming freshman, definitely join a FIG. Maybe I'll be your FIG leader. Okay, so the last pro I can think of right now is probably the IMA, and the IMA is the main athletic facility at UW, and honestly, it's stacked with so much gym equipment, and there's 4 floors. You can honestly do whatever you want there. There's a pool, there's dance studios, there's basketball courts, so yeah, if you want to stay active, you don't even have to just be, lifting all the time. You can just be doing any of these sports activities and just have a great time. Okay, so before I get into the cons list, I wanted to show you guys the Husky Den, which is the dining area located in the basement of the hub, and honestly, it looks pretty desolate right now. None of these places were open when I went, so it was really, really weird, but the food is really good. If you ever want to go eat lunch, I recommend going to the hub because they have the most options. Okay, number 1 on the cons list doesn't necessarily apply to UW specifically, but more so Seattle overall, is that people are very to themselves. This is called the Seattle Freeze, where they're just very independent and don't like talking to people, so yeah, I've just noticed that that's a real thing, in my personal opinion. Okay, I'll introduce yourself. This is Omar. He's on the boxing team. Anything else? Anything you would like to say to my potential fans? Anyway, okay, we will be continuing the rest of our tour. So a common trend I noticed amongst college campus locations is that either 1, you're located in the middle of nowhere, or 2, you're located in an area with an extremely high crime rate. So this kind of goes into my next con by commenting on the fact that UW is not necessarily located in the safest part of Seattle. We're right next to the Ave. I guess a pro is that it provides a lot of food places and options to support local businesses, but the con is that you can't really go here at night without feeling super sketched out because there's just so much crime. I get alerts all the time by saying, oh, there's a, this incident happened, or, oh, stay away from this area because there's a robbery here, So at least they're doing their part by alerting the students, but again, not the safest area. Okay, next con is more applicable to me and out-of-state students rather than in-state students, but out-of-state tuition is so expensive, and in-state tuition, is pretty fairly cheap for college. So this just kind of goes into my rant that I have that University of Washington prioritizes in-state students, especially with Running Start. It allows Washington kids to get ahead. But yeah, it's okay. It's fine. Whatever. The thing that is not so fine is that it's so hard to apply for in-state residency. I remember going within the first month of school because I knew that UW was going to be way too expensive for me to handle for the last 4 years. But the requirements are just basically make it impossible for students to apply for in-state residency as soon as possible. So yeah, that's just a con and something to watch out for when you're looking for schools is that this tuition is pretty expensive if you're out of state. Okay, before I continue on with the cons list, just so you know, if you haven't figured it out already, we are currently in the IMA. Okay, the next point can either be a pro or con. Obviously, Seattle is pretty rainy, but honestly, within me being here my first year, it hasn't even been that bad. So I think people over exaggerate it just a teeny bit, but maybe that's because I haven't been here in the spring yet. And I won't be now because, hashtag COVID-19. But anyway, I would say though that the winter is just kind of depressing because sometimes it's raining, other times it's just muggy, and it's not a good vibe because winter quarter is super stressful. So yeah, I would say that that's the one time of the year where the weather can definitely affect your mood. But otherwise, it's been pretty sunny so far throughout my first year. Okay, my next few cons are going to address the area of academics. So, UW is obviously a pretty good school, a pretty competitive school. But just so you know, for your first year, if you take any math or science class, they're going to be weed out classes, especially if they're like prereqs for your major. Basically, they want to try and make you fail. I'm not even kidding. That's just how I personally feel, and I think a lot of other students can attest to it. Just because it's so hard. Like the averages on midterms are failing, literally failing. So, yeah, I would just say watch out for that. So make sure like that's another thing too, because I think UW knows how difficult it is, so that's why they have so many academic resources. So really make use of that. Okay, my last point is to comment on UW's slogan, which is Be Boundless, and I completely disagree with this. I think although UW provides a lot of resources for students to excel, there are so many boundaries in place to try and make students fail. For example, even if you are accepted to the University of Washington, you might not be accepted into your major of choice. For example, computer science is one of the most competitive majors at UW, if not the most competitive, and I know some applicants that should have been accepted into that major because of how passionate they are about it, and some people are just supernaturally talented at coding, but if they're not accepted into the major, they can't really prove that. I've also noticed that everyone I've talked to that's been directly admitted to their major is from Washington State. So again, I don't know if this is UW prioritizing in-state students, or if they have to have a certain number of in-state students into the majors, or if it's just coincidence. So anyway, that is the end of the tour. If you guys have more specific questions, feel free to leave them in the comments down below, and I'll be happy to answer them as soon as possible, especially now that I have all this free time. So as of March 16th, 2020, which is the time I'm editing this video, in-person classes have officially been moved online until April 24th, and then we're going to get updates from there. Right now, I am back at home, and my finals were canceled, so it's technically spring break for me, and I don't have anything to do. So, if you guys want me to post a video titled Things to Do When You're Bored in Quarantine, just let me know. But yeah, in all seriousness, I pray that everyone's family stays safe during this weird time. Continue to educate yourself on the facts, really. Don't just give in to the media and what it portrays, but really seek out the truth for yourself. Anyway, bye.